What's going on, everybody? It's Tom from the Orange Jungle Tree Sheep, and welcome back to Spiel. Today, I'm here with my friend Akil,
Hello.
and we're gonna basically get right into it. I've been enjoying college so far. I think you have too.
Definitely.
Yeah. So, all right. Then our first topic is gonna be movies. So, what kind of movies do you like?
Hmm. That's a good question. I wouldn't say when you say what kind of movies, I would probably just say I like any movie that's just well made. I don't think I'm a fan of like one particular genre of films or anything.
Hmm.
It's just any well made movie. Yeah, because like there are a lot of like super like I used to like all the Marvel movies, like not the recent ones, but yeah, like a lot of the old ones. I used to really like them, and there are a lot of animated movies I find really cool. I mean, there's just some of them are just well made. Even I think even adults can enjoy some of them. Honestly, like there are some animated there's this movies like The Incredibles and Rango,
Hmm.
stuff like that. I think adults can enjoy those too.
Yeah.
And yeah, a lot of movies like that. Just any well made movie that really makes you like, oh wow, that's like a really interesting concept. Stuff like that.
Yeah. I'd say, much the same. I've got my things I'm interested in. You know, any of the weird sci-fi movies, like
Yeah.
Inception, Interstellar, stuff like that. I've mentioned I enjoy similar things in some previous videos, but I agree. I think there's a lot of movies that succeed because they can be enjoyed by people in like a bunch of different perspectives. I think.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Speaking of Interstellar and Inception, I really need to watch those movies
Mm.
because like the amount of taunts I get for being an astronomy major that has not watched Interstellar
Mm.
is like insane.
Yeah, I bet it's
Yeah.
it's a good movie.
I know. Apparently, it's like actually based on real physics, which I didn't know.
Yes,
Like, apparently, he actually studied the theory of relativity, and there's some weird
yeah.
time stuff that goes
They
on in
did
it. So
they did base at least some of it on some actual research.
that's insane.
I believe. I mean, it's nowhere near the complexity of the movie, but
Mm-hmm.
it is at least partly based on some real stuff.
It's quite cool. Yeah. I'll definitely give it a watch soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe over summer or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's also speaking of well-made movies, there's also not just like English films, even like back home. There are a lot of these Bollywood movies that I genuinely think can compete with a lot of Hollywood movies because the way they are made is just it's so like fresh and like they really are like when I really like when a movie has something to say, like something good to say, and it says it in a manner that's not like cheesy because there are a lot of I mean it's no secret all countries have their issues, so there are a lot of movies that comment on certain social aspects of our culture,
Yeah.
and there are like a lot of movies like Three Idiots, even like some comedy movies like Badhai though I'm not sure if you've heard of them, but a lot of them like they really comment on it in like nice and like wholesome ways, and it's really entertaining to watch throughout too. So I like it when the movie has something to say and then it's also entertaining. So like you're gripped and then by the end you're like wow, and then you're really moved and it's a really good experience.
Yeah. I can say I've not seen many Bollywood movies.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a little bit when I was younger,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah. I'd say I also agree that being entertaining and having something to say
Yeah.
can really make a good movie.
Yeah. Plus, like the thing is that's really difficult to do. So when it's
Yeah.
done well, you really you're like wow, that's you appreciate it a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose we're lucky to have, I mean, lots of movies that do succeed at that are remembered,
Yeah.
which
Yeah, and again, I'm of the opinion of both. Like, while I do like movies that are entertaining and have something to say, I also don't mind like mindless entertainment now and then. Like,
yes,
I would say Marvel is basically that right now.
yeah,
But
it's
yeah.
some points. It is. Yeah. Any specific Bollywood movies you'd recommend?
Hmm. There are a lot of good ones, but like if I had to recommend one, like the one that I think just is like fantastic is Three Idiots. It's based on a novel which I just recently found out. But yeah, so this movie called Three Idiots. It's about three idiots in college. So a little bit of like history before like to explain the movie, and also spoilers warning if anyone hasn't seen the movie. So in India, there is this one college called IIT. Well, it's a university. It's there in different states have different IITs, but they're all like the top of the top, and people joke around, but like it is genuinely true, where people are like, if you can't get into IIT, you can't get into like some people are like, no, I'm thinking I'll just do I can't get into MIT or like Harvard, so I'm gonna go for IIT. And if you can't get into MIT, you cannot get into IIT. So like it's that level of like difficulty to get in. And how it works is there is this entrance exam called JEE, and then there's JEE Advanced too. So there are these two exams, and you take them. It's once annual, so you take them once in like, and you either make it or you don't. So around 10 lakh, maybe more. I'm not. I don't remember the exact number. I could be wrong. But around 10 lakh students take it, and then maybe like 1,000, 10,000. Like it's a very small number of them actually get in. So like it's like the like remaining like 9 like 99 whatever. They don't know what to do, because like people legitimately devote their whole life to this. Like it's a bizarre concept. Like like that. I'm not exaggerating when I say their whole life depends on those two exams, the results of those exams. So it's like very messed up. And then there's the 3 days, and then another movie that also talks about this is called Chichore. But I'll talk about 3 days first. But it's kind of sad. Like a lot of my friends, some of them did do well. They got into IIT, but some of them didn't. And then luckily they are like mature enough where they're like, it's fine, like I still go into a good college. But a lot of them, like they have no more direction. They're like, I didn't get it, now what do I do? I don't know what to do. Like it's sad. So this movie kind of it doesn't talk about that, but it talks about how like even if you get into IIT, there's one dialogue in the movie that I think sums up the movie well. It tries to tell you the difference between well trained and well educated.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is a distinction that I think has become very noticeable in today's world. Not to call people stupid or anything, but I mean, if you want someone who's going to be good at any job, you need a mix of both. The thing is that I think sometimes it leans
at least like how it is in India is some of the schools, they like I think a lot of the educational institutes lose that idea of what education is supposed to be, and then the focus goes from how to prepare you for like problems to face. It goes just to how to get marks, which is never like, how to get marks is never going to help you when you're actually doing a job, right? Like you could score 100 on every test, but like if you can't apply it to like unconventional situations, then like what's the point, you know? But
I would say I mean, I'm lucky, I think, and I think a lot of people who I know are fairly lucky that at least where I grew up, the schools are good, and they did prepare us at least in a bit. But a common thing I've heard about, I think education in general in the 21st century is that the consequences of like the way it was set up during the Industrial Revolution, like our current school system, we're feeling some of the effects of it now. Like school has a tendency to sometimes be about just getting a good grade. Sometimes, and I'm like, I'm lucky to be, you know, in the presence of a lot of really smart people who are able to teach me some interesting stuff.
Yeah, that's good, because like I would say like I mainly realized this when like, because till 10th grade I would say like I still liked my school, because they put a lot of focus on educating you, obviously, with technical knowledge, like subjects like history, geography. They made us do a lot, like they made us do everything from like bio, physics to geography to even like we had yoga classes. So I would say they did a good job with that. And then they also like they tried to instill like they put a heavy focus on values more than at the school I went to, it's called Arya Vidya Mandir, and they put like a very heavy focus on values, and like it was a fairly religious school, so there was a lot of focus on like being thankful to God and stuff like that, which I'm okay with. I mean, like it wasn't like
it didn't dominate it too much.
Like it wasn't. It did, but like again, like it's like we were kids. What do you know? You know, so it's fine. Like I think like obviously back then I was like, no, school sucks. Like who doesn't do that? But like now, like when I think about it, it was a good school. Like I do enjoy it. And then I switched schools in 11th, because that ends after 10th. And then that was a whole another story, because I went from doing all subjects to doing a few subjects that I chose. and I like that more because I didn't have to do like geography and stuff, which I despise with all my being. But yeah, and like geography, civics, stuff, subjects like that, like I just did not like. So then I went from studying around like 12, 13 subjects in 10th grade to just six, but very like specializing in those, like doing a lot of stuff in those, which I realized is good. But then there were also a few subjects like I took economics, like just to like look at other perspectives. So then I do realize that that's what you realize that it's best to like learn everything before you choose, because like that's what I like about our school is that they made you do a lot of subjects, right? So then you figure out what you like. So I think that's a good, like at least till like maybe fifth grade, sixth grade, you do everything and then you figure out like, oh, what do I like, what do I not like, and then I think that's one good thing about our school, which a lot of schools don't have. I would say like you're kind of just zoned into like science, commerce, arts. Like in India, that's how it works. So that's what the movie's based on, like the whole IIT concept. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. And I think knowing a lot about like various subjects is generally useful.
Yeah, it
You
is
know,
definitely.
and the ability to really figure out exactly what you want to do is good. I suppose choice is a theme that comes up in a lot of media. You know, I mean,
That's true.
like freedom and the ability to, I
Yeah,
guess,
especially now, choice is the big thing. So, yeah.
choice is a commonly discussed concept in
yeah,
a
and
lot of places.
now like it's gone a bit ridiculous, but like
Yeah,
I don't want to get into that.
I suppose it depends on who you ask. I mean,
Yeah.
we've all got our perspectives on how the world works and all.
Yeah.
But in terms of more kinds of movies that I think we like, are there any genres in particular you find yourself maybe gravitating towards? Maybe not necessarily you prefer.
I would say purely just because of the fact that how entertaining they are, I find myself gravitating to movies like superhero movies or like ones that have like more action in them, because it's just like entertaining to watch. And like I used to watch a lot of movies, but like right now in college, there's a lot of shit going on. So like I generally like put a movie on the side while I'm working or something like that. So I don't like actively watch it. And then in those kind of situations, I like to have stuff that where you don't need to use your brain too much. Like you can just like look at it and figure out what's going on. So like movies like John Wick, stuff like that. That's just like very action heavy, or like just pure just entertainment.
Yeah.
Those kind of movies. Like I just keep those. But I think that's due to the circumstances. But if I had to like just sit down and watch a movie, I like to watch movies that like it's not like I don't know what the genre would be, but there are these movies that like like when you watch them, it's like again that mix between entertainment and having this really strong message, right? Like I don't know if that can be called a genre, because like all genres of movies have those types of films, but like I mean, the one thing I can say for certain is the one genre I don't dabble in is horror, but like everything else I'm cool with, but like horror movies, no. But
I'm a little bit of a horror fan. I occasionally watch a movie or two. Most of my interest is, I guess, a general knowledge of like this is what horror movies are, but I don't
like how
watch
they
it.
made, yeah, because it is good to have that knowledge though, because like when you're a filmmaker, like if like speaking like the Batman, like the Robert Pattinson movie, it's filmed like when he's coming out of the shadows, it's filmed like a horror movie.
Yes.
So like I think in those kind of cases, like it's good to like have that, like what you want to do, and then you can use like elements from other genres in your movie, and then it gives it like makes it, because I thought that was really cool, like that opening speech he does, and then where like those shadows are going on. I was like, dude, this is really cool, like because I really enjoyed it. So like I think yeah, it is good to like, even if you like don't like genre, just like dabble with it so that you can learn something.
Yeah. The one reason that I really like the Batman, maybe more than the Dark Knight, I'm still
Really? Oh.
figuring that out, is because a lot of Batman movies, the Dark Knight trilogy specifically, as well as the DCEU stuff, is that they're a lot more about Batman, the guy who punches crime in the face, Batman the superhero, this movie with Robert Pattinson is a lot more of Batman the Detective, which is a huge...
That's not seen in the other
Yeah,
movies.
that's a huge part of Batman's character that is not touched on as much, and I really like it.
Yeah, plus even the other the Nolan movies, they always felt like except for maybe Batman Begins, it felt like more of the villain in the spotlight than actually Batman. But this movie was purely just Batman's time to shine, like because if you watch The Dark Knight, like Heath Ledger, what's his name? Aaron something.
Aaron Eckhart.
Is it Aaron Eckhart?
I think that's the name of the guy who plays
the Two-Face, right? Yeah. He was like outstanding. Obviously, like Heath Ledger took the show, but like he was good too. And like even I think Gary Oldman is really underrated in those movies.
Yeah.
But like just like but I would say like the villains are stand out, and then Tom Hardy's Bane. I don't know if it's controversial, but I really liked him as Bane. But yeah.
I think Tom Hardy as Bane is not received as well as the other two.
Yeah, because I know that the third movie is a bit controversial, to say the least. Some people love it, some people hate it.
It's not... The reception on The Dark Knight is is definitely the best of the three.
Yeah, for sure.
There isn't too much discussion, at least there among fans. There's discussion of Batman Begins, but among the mainstream, it isn't talked about as much. Mostly because I think The Dark Knight, as as a member of the trilogy, it's good, but as a movie, like just separate from the fact that it's Batman, it's really good.
That's the thing again. Like I don't know. I like to this one YouTuber. I really like watching his movie reviews. I don't know if you've heard of him. It's Cosmonaut.
Cosmonaut Variety Hour. Yes.
Yeah, he was talking about how he's talking about the Amazing Spider-Man 2 movie, and how some people focus on how it fails as a Spider-Man movie, and some people focus on how it fails as a movie. So like it's important to do both well. Like that's what I had never thought about that before. Like there's doing it as a movie of this genre, and then there's doing it as a movie. So like there's like two sides to it.
Yeah.
And then I think Dark Knight crushes both. So.
Yes, I think when you're superhero movies, especially because the primary material is comics, but for I guess any movie adaptation has to do both of those things if it wants to be recognized well. Of course, you can do just one. Not to discuss it too much, but Man of Steel is a good example of a movie that does one of those things, in my opinion.
Oh, which one of those things would you say it does well?
It succeeds as a movie, not as much as a Superman movie, and this is a thing that I will say about Zack Snyder's Superman in general, is that
it's not very good, is it?
I am not a fan of as much of the way Zack Snyder's Superman is characterized, because Superman's whole deal is that he is the symbol of hope who inspires everybody around him to be better.
Yeah, and I think Zack Snyder focused too much on him being that godlike figure instead of making him a bit more like a bit more human. I think Zack Snyder's Superman, like you always see him, he's like floating in the air and everyone's like trying to grab him.
Yeah.
But it's I'm not a comics fan, but like what I think would have worked better, maybe I could be wrong here because I haven't read that many comics, but like he's like he's not like meant to be like the second coming of Christ or something. He's just like he was on Earth, right? So he was raised by like normal people. So he's first a human and then he's Superman. Like that's how it should work. So.
That is very much what makes a lot of the best Superman stories succeed. I once heard it described that Superman is Clark Kent's customer service voice. that might be humorous, but it's...
That's humorous, but it's like painfully accurate.
Yeah, that's really accurate. And I think Man of Steel is it's an entertaining action movie. And it's got a lot of good elements to it, but the characterization of Superman it makes it an example of maybe an adaptation that wasn't quite as good as.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to get to adaptations that misunderstood the character, the one that came after Man of Steel is a very good example.
Yes. Batman v Superman is just you. I mean, you could adopt
the like hype surrounding that movie, and then what it ended up being.
Yeah. I mean,
it was like I still it was so funny. Like
I mean.
Yeah. Oh, I still haven't watched the full thing through. I can't.
Really.
I can't.
I mean, I hear if you want to, I hear that the Ultimate Edition.
There's an Ultimate Edition.
Yes, it's kind of like what Zack Snyder's Justice League is to Justice League. It's
I like that one.
Yeah, it's a little bit longer, some more stuff that it's better than the original.
But the premise itself, like,
you can make Superman fight Batman. That's part of.
You have to. Like, I don't think Superman would want to fight Batman. I feel like Batman has to do the instigation, at least from like first instinct. Because like I don't see Superman as a guy who wants to fight. You know, like.
Yeah, I guess. At least part of the comic that inspired it. That at the end of the fight, instead of like, I don't think the Martha line was in there as. It might have been included like once.
Yeah.
But at the end of the fight in the comic, instead of being like, "Oh, Martha, that's my mom's name. That's my mom's name."
Yeah.
The way it ends, Batman says to Superman, "I have to let this be the day. Let you remember that I was the one to defeat you." Basically, like you are. Batman basically. It's a way better version of the movie.
Yeah, because Batman's not trying to kill him. He's just trying to show that he can beat him.
He's trying to show Superman, you might be really powerful and basically a god, but you are not invincible. You can still lose.
Yeah. And
that is part of what makes the original comic so good.
Yeah, because I think there's this one part of that movie that I like where he's about to like stab him with that huge ass.
The spear?
The one with the kryptonite, the spear.
Yeah, the spear.
And he's like, "Oh, you're not a god. You're barely even human." And then I saw this one video where he's trying to convince himself that he's not human, so it doesn't count as killing. And I was like, oh, that's a smart way to put it, like, cause like that's something Batman would do. He'd be like, no, this is not a human, so I can kill him.
Yeah.
And then I was like, if they focused on that like I'm not like I can't be exact about it, but that could have made a really good movie.
Yeah, the thing is that comic wise, Batman specifically does not kill him. You know, his intent was a lot more consistent.
Yeah. And then there's the whole Batman gun thing. Like the movie's just a mess. Yeah.
Well, that's a whole other can of worms when we're talking about Batman. So, any final thoughts on movies, or do you want to move on?
I mean, the movies, whether they're bad or good, if they're entertaining, I like them.
Yeah. Yeah, I would
like
agree.
The Amazing Spider-Man 2, however bad it is, I enjoy that movie. So, like, it's just fun to watch the mess unfold.
Yeah, that's so true. All right. So then our second topic was astronomy. So you said, or at least your major is at least partly focused on that.
It's CS plus astronomy, so it's like it's both technically.
Yeah. I suppose, have you been interested in astronomy for a long time?
Funny story actually. So when I was applying for college, I could not care less about CS. I was mainly interested in I mean maybe it's just because I like Big Bang Theory a lot, and it's also because we had this chapter on quantum physics and a lot of like it's really fascinating about how the matter within the matter we know, and it was just like this whole new world, and I was like, whoa, like what is this?
Yeah.
Like I didn't know this. And then it's all about how stuff like the quantum tunneling effect and stuff like that. I'm like, dude, like that's so cool. Like why am I not doing this? And then I was really into that, and I read a lot about Higgs boson, how this mysterious field that gives us mass, like how it's all, and the cool thing about it is it's all theoretical. So everything we know is just based on indirect reasoning, kind of because there's no way to actually see that, right? So we could be wrong, you don't know, that, and I think that's part of the fun, you just don't know. And that's insane to me. So I was like, no, I have to I really want to do this. This is something I would like to do. I want to get into research. I want to get into quantum research. So I was really into quantum physics. So I was applying everywhere with physics / astronomy. Then when I came to UIUC, And why I got into astronomy was I did this one course online on Coursera. It was by the University of Arizona on astronomy, and it kind of just went through like A to Z everything in astronomy, all the fields you could go to,
Yeah.
astrobiology, astrochemistry, astrophysics, what they mean, the differences, stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, this is cool. Like I like physics, I like math. Let's combine them in a cool way. And not astrobiology. I'm not a bio guy, but yeah, astrophysics seemed really cool because like again my main curiosity was like what the hell is going on in the quantum world, right? And then I think astrophysics deals with that. Like that's basically the question of the day. Like for physics is like what's going on. So like I was like astrophysics sort of come like my interest in the quantum world would be well suited for this astronomy. Like if I chose astrophysics as like a profession, then I would be able to do what I want to do. So cool. I applied everywhere with astronomy. Some places didn't have it, so I applied with physics. Then funny enough, when I came to UIUC, I saw this CS plus astronomy option. And then I was like thinking to myself, CS is really like it's advancing. So I would like to know CS because I don't want to miss out on that CS part. So this is actually the only place I applied with CS. And I applied with CS plus astronomy because there was no CS plus physics. I would have probably gone for CS plus physics. But no, I went with astronomy because physics doesn't exist. But then I came to UMC and that's how I got into astronomy. It was just the coolness and the uncertainty in the quantum world, which I was like, no, I need to know this, like, what is going on, like, that thing and stuff like dark matter, dark energy. I don't know much about it. Clearly, neither do the scientists. But yeah, I think that it's like, it's really fascinating. Like it's just so like I don't know how else to say. Like it's just fascinating about describes it. Like just and if you look at it like the weirdness of space outside Earth, like the stuff that goes on there is like it's hard to even process. Like
There's some weird stuff out there.
yeah, like you would never imagine it. Like it's like even like it's funny because like I'm in my like second semester and I haven't taken an astronomy course yet because to take it I have to first finish till calculus 3 until electricity and magnetism, then I can take the most basic astronomy course. So like to take the most basic astronomy course you need to already have like math level and like physics high physics levels. So
I really I liked astronomy and just related stuff to space, I guess, since I was little. There was a book that I had, it's in some box packed away somewhere, about the solar system that I would read all the time when I was younger.
Cool.
Yeah, mostly because it was just like as a little kid.
Like when you're younger it's that and then dinosaurs.
Yeah. Thinking about something like that like completely independent of us and like all the stuff we do in our regular lives, all that is still out there and stuff is still happening with it. That was really fascinating to me.
Yeah, and then when you like read that kind of stuff you realize like how small we actually are.
Yeah.
Because like we are like really small.
Yeah.
And then a lot of people are like, if in the greater concept of the universe, why does it matter what we do? Like stuff like that comes up because it's like time is it's been going on for so long. Why does it matter? Because we're so small. Then I'm like, but this is the only planet that has life on it.
At least
that we know of.
Yeah, that we know of so far.
At least like in our nearby vicinity, we're the only planet that has life. So isn't that itself a good enough purpose? Like that like life exists.
Yeah.
Because like so it's kind of like it's really like cool. Like I mean that's more astrobiology.
Yeah.
Like looking for life, but
There was one thing you mentioned that I find really interesting. Dark matter.
Dark matter.
Yeah, I'm taking an astronomy class right now.
Oh, is it 101?
122.
122. Which one is that?
Stars and galaxies. Basically,
okay.
They took the basic astronomy course and just split it in two, and so you can take two courses. I'm really enjoying it. I know most of the people watching this video are probably around college age. If you get the chance to take a good astronomy course, I'd recommend it because the field is interesting.
Yeah. Plus, even like beyond that, I was speaking to my advisor. Back in India, like he was like just talking about like how he helped me with my essays and stuff like that. And he had interesting things to say. So I was like later on I realized that like after I came to college and after I really thought about it, I realized like maybe I'm more interested in CS, because the astronomy was not I thought about it. Obviously, I didn't just take it because like, oh, astronomy space. Like I have thought about it a little, but it wasn't like deep thought. Like, yes, this is what I want to do for sure. And then I was like, yeah, I can always, like, it's UIUC, they have those CS plus X. I can always switch to like CS plus statistics, CS plus finance, whatever the money is. But then he was like, no, he was like, no, I would say that if you want to drop CS, but do not drop astronomy, because his reasons were like, with how things are progressing, there is going to be a lot of focus on space related technology or space related like sending things to space, and especially with the progress we're making. And his theory is the first trillionaire of the world is going to be an astronomer, which is interesting to say the least. uh, I can see why he said that. I am not fully sure I agree with it, but I can see why he said that, because with the whole space progression thing going on, he really said like, do not drop astronomy, because it is going to be huge, especially CS plus astronomy. So yeah.
Yeah, with all of the technological advancements that have been being made, like I think of SpaceX, you know, and the stuff that's happening there.
Elon Musk in general.
Yeah, say whatever you want about Elon Musk. He's doing some pretty interesting stuff.
No, like I haven't seen, like, there's a lot of controversy that's with him. I'm not like familiar with any of them. I just appreciate like what he's done.
Yeah.
Because like, for one man to bring out these many new inventions in one lifetime is crazy. Like,
Yeah.
like, and like, no wonder he's a idol to many people, because like it's a rare thing, like, and like he makes it look like a casual thing, but it's not. It's a very like it's a very unique thing. Like, it's not easy, like, to be able to come up with these many original inventions back to back to back to back. And like, just we have the electric car, we have what SpaceX is doing, and it's just like how, like, like, it's just it's like hard to comprehend. Like, you realize, like, if you really put your mind to something, what you can do. Like, I think Elon Musk is like, what do you get when, like, when you really really focus on something. Because like, I mean, I'm sure like that there are smarter people. Like, Elon Musk is not like the smartest person on earth, but it's just his work ethic, right? Like, the focus, the sheer like commitment he has. I think that's why he's so successful, and that's why he's able to successfully innovate in this manner.
Yeah, and astronomy is an area that I think lends itself well to a lot of innovation, because if we're being honest about it, space is like so drastically different from what we're used to that, like, any new progression is gonna radically change our understanding. Any new technology that that emerges is
Because like
the best we've got.
Yeah, because like you realize that a lot of people, like, you think there's a lot of information, then you learn something, then you realize how much we do not know, which is like, I can't even begin to describe. I mean, it's like, it's insane. Like, it's just like, just thinking about it itself is an insane concept. How big the universe is. Like, I know like Marvel movies make it look like really like small, because like you've got the like ship moving at light speed everywhere, but like, if it was like actually like realistic, like the whole movie would just be them in the ship, because like
Yeah.
But obviously that will make a terrible movie. So
Yeah, I mean, just on a basic thing, it takes light 8 minutes to travel about 93 million miles from the sun to us. So we are, I mean, if you look up in the sky, you are seeing the sun.
You're seeing the sun 8 minutes before.
Yeah, you're seeing the sun as it was 8 minutes ago.
Yeah. It's another interesting concept, because that like, it makes me like think about stuff like, are there galaxies we haven't seen yet because the light hasn't reached us? Stuff like that. And there are a lot of there are some galaxies that are like some 13 billion light years away, and when you look at those, because they're 13 billion light years away, you're seeing them form, because that's when they formed, right?
Yeah.
So you're essentially seeing the formation of that galaxy, not how it is now.
Yeah.
Because it took it took the Big Bang for that light to get here. So that's essentially how I think that's what cosmology is based on, studying the Big Bang.
Yeah.
That's not something I will be honest, I'm not a professional at astronomy, obviously. That's why I'm in college. But yeah, I definitely, I would say there are definitely people who are more knowledgeable than me about it, but I tend to get there soon. But yeah, like it's just like acknowledging it itself is so fascinating that it really makes you want to learn more about it. So yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm trying to think if there's anything particularly interesting I want to discuss.
Yeah, astronomy.
Yeah. I mean, I know just one thing I find just like so weird is we mentioned dark matter. That, when I was younger, the way that I would have conceptualized it based on fiction and based on what little I understood
Like a
is
black
that,
blob.
like a black blob, some kind of like dark energy.
Yeah.
You could easily see like a villain from space in some in some comic book using it.
Galactus' side.
Yeah, something
what
like
Galactus uses to destroy universes.
Yeah.
That kind of.
Yeah, but the thing is, in reality, the dark matter is basically just matter that doesn't.
Interesting fact, like
it doesn't give off any light at all.
Interesting fact, we're assuming it's matter because there were people were assuming a lot of possibilities that maybe it's like a neon, maybe it's this, maybe it's that, but it didn't fit any current model of physics we have. So the only option left is dark matter. We still don't know if it's actually dark matter.
There is a discrepancy in our observations of mass of a lot of galaxies out there and there's no observable, at least almost no observable explanation for what's going on.
Yeah, because you never know, right? Because there could be everyone just assumed Newton was there, and someone like Einstein could come along and be like, no, this is how it works.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, that is how it works. So you never know.
Yeah.
We could still be wrong.
Yeah. There has to be something there making those galaxies as massive as they are.
Yeah.
But we can't see it. It doesn't give off any light. We can only detect its presence minimally by the effect it has on the stuff around it.
Yeah.
And it's that's a huge gap in information.
It's just you are detecting something by seeing how other things are affected by it.
Yeah.
And that's just you have to the deductions you need to make. It's basically like a detective. You're being a detective, you're seeing how this works, and then you're okay, that's why this must be a part. It's matter. It must be matter. I don't know. It's a bit too practical for me at this point to comprehend it. But yeah, and then even it's the stuff like Newton's theory, right? So what Newton said is just props. So this is mass. This is another mass. They attract each other, like gravity, basically. So Einstein comes along and says no. He says if this is space, what actually happens is there's absolutely no relation between these bodies. What's happening is when you put a huge mass, the space. So imagine a sheet, and when you put a heavy ball on it, it sinks down, right?
Yeah, I've seen models of
that. You've seen that, right? So when you roll a ball, it's actually moving in a straight line. It's not being affected by the mass, but because the mass literally bent space time, it appears to move like that in a circle. But actually there is no force between them.
That is a huge change in understanding, at least from the early conceptions of astronomy. Because part of Newton's whole thing was sort of basically action at a distance.
Yeah, no, basically his whole thing was that if something has mass, it will attract other mass to itself. That's how gravity works. That was his whole theory. And of course, then you can't do it because you don't have enough mass. Stuff like planets. His whole point was that gravity is a force, right? But Einstein's no, gravity is a wave.
Yeah, gravity is a wave. It is the warping of space-time.
Yeah, then that's where the whole theory of it becomes, because when you bend space you bend time too.
Yeah.
And then something travels around it, and then it's just wow.
And that starts getting really weird because light bends too.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like this thing that we may not even properly understand its existence.
Like gravitational lensing, right?
Yeah. Is it a particle or is it a wave? We don't know. It depends on the context you observe it in. And
again, when it comes to light, it's both. So it's a particle and a wave.
Yeah.
It's like a wave is essentially like wave is what carries energy, right? So like it's just carrying energy. It's not really like moving per se.
Yeah.
But then you have photons in it too.
Yeah.
So it is moving. so it's like kind of both. And then it has this like I'm studying it right now, so I know about it. Like it has this electric field component and this magnetic field component, and then they together travel, and it travels with the photon. So like it's very difficult to visualize this because like you need to like do it a lot before you can actually start visualizing. Like I don't know how like some people can visualize the fourth dimension. I don't understand how, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredibly difficult for us to even have a conception of that because if the way we think about it is imagine a video game character like Pac-Man.
Yeah.
You know, moves up and down, it moves left and right.
Yeah.
Two
Two
dimensions, and that third thing that we all know is like if you talked to Pac-Man and said, "Hey, there's a third direction."
Yeah, like you can come outside the
Yeah,
laptop.
he would have literally no conception
Yeah.
of what that is.
It's like if you're in
Yeah.
2D, all like think about it, all you can see is the edges of other things.
Yeah.
Like you can't really like if like you're on a paper and you're moving, all you can see is the edge of like the things ahead of you, the edge, the things to the side of you, the things behind you. You can't really see like a proper shape, you know, like if you go and you see a circle, you're only gonna see the edge of that circle. You're not gonna see the whole thing. So
yeah, it's basically that same way for us for a further spatial dimension because we move through 3 spatial dimensions. We can do so freely, as evidenced by my arm. But we cannot move through anything more than those 3. There is time, but we are more of observers of that, or at least like we cannot.
Yeah, like I don't.
We can't move freely.
We don't really know if we can or not yet.
Yeah, we don't know.
But at least so far, from what we know, time is linear. But I mean, I think Einstein would have disagree. But yeah, like we don't know any way where we can like go back in time. We can slow down time, but I don't know if we can like go back in time.
Yeah.
But we can definitely slow it down. And I think this is where black holes come in. So you got time stuff happens when you're like getting sucked in.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So I suppose one question I'll ask to wrap up our astronomy discussion. I thought this might be kind of humorous, I guess, but do you think Pluto should be a planet?
That's a good question. I think. Well, there are. I think if Pluto should be a planet, there are 3-4 other planets in our solar system that should also become planet. Like I forgot its name. Ceres, yeah. Because like, if they are, like, because if Pluto is a planet, it has the physical traits that fit being a dwarf planet. So do these other planets. So then technically they should be planets too. But like, yeah, I mean, I would say my opinion is not as like I'm not. It's not that personal about it. Like, it's like whatever. Like,
yeah, I remember when it was announced that Pluto's like classification was being changed. I was like, but why?
Yeah.
At least little.
Yeah, it's like as a kid, I was like, why is it not a planet? Like that's so mean.
Yeah. All right. So then, I think that wraps up our astronomy discussion. So, the last thing I think we're going to discuss is music.
Music.
Yes. So, I mean, you're wearing a Metallica t-shirt.
Yeah. So I think it's definitely my favorite band. I'm a metal guy, so I like a lot. I like Metallica, Pantera, Megadeth. I'm not sure. What kind of music are you?
Well, that depends. Are we talking about like real world music or fictional music? Because
what is real world music?
I mean, if it's not from a what I mean by fictional music.
Oh, you mean
like
if it's
video,
like video game music,
like
that kind of stuff?
Video games and
No, I count it all because I do listen to video game music too. So the Gerudo Valley theme, stuff like
Yes.
that. I feel that cool too. So like anything.
Alright. Well, I mean, in terms of like music I enjoy from, you know, that's like not from entertainment. I would say I get a lot of my music taste from my parents actually. You know, I like rock, mostly like classic rock, 80s, 90s, 2000s, and I listen
like
to
if I had to guess, like Led Zeppelin, AC/DC kind of
stuff like that. Yeah, and I also listen to some more popular stuff, mostly just because it's from the time I grew up in. You know,
Okay.
but if there's a genre I find myself coming back to more than any other, it's rock. I also find the history of rock
Yeah.
actually
You take
really
that
interesting.
course the music one thing too.
I actually took that class last year, or
Okay, I'm taking it next semester. So.
yeah.
How is it?
It's really interesting.
Because like I read about it and it says it's about the history of rock. I don't think this is my course. Like I have to take it. So
Yeah. Yes. Or was it last semester? I don't. My ability to remember
You took it.
the stuff I've taken in college is weird. But yes, I have taken the history of rock. I found that really interesting because I mean it really takes you through every
yeah,
distinct.
like, to take it through like Hendrix to like.
You know,
Is it well, actually no? I guess I'm biased. I am more into the history of guitar than rock, but I guess you also have like James Brown and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's good. It's really cool. Yeah, to see how music has evolved, and then that's why like being a guitarist, there's a lot of these arguments you see online where people are like, no, this dude is shit. Like, look at his playing. Like, it's not advanced at all. But then like, you're not considering the time he played that in. Like what Hendrix is doing, technically, notes wise, chords wise, it's not hard to do. But to do it in that time when no one even like thought of it, that is hard to do.
Yeah.
That no one can do. Like you have to think about the time they did it in. It's like it's the same way like this one really good argument made by this guitarist. Was it Paul Gilbert? I don't know, but he said if you give a kid a drawing and he makes a like really bad dinosaur, you're still gonna say it's cool, right? So that's like when they were figuring out rock and like the solos weren't like perfect, you're still gonna say it's cool, right? Because like it's in its like infant stage. It's not grown yet. So it's, like for that level of this thing, it's really cool. So yeah, like that's what I like. That's one thing I find like interesting. Like that's one more thing that factor that must be considered when like judging music or like thinking is good, do I like it?
Yeah, one of the things I find interesting about music in particular is, like you were saying, essentially the progression of knowledge.
Yeah.
Is, I mean, it's a concept you can trace across pretty much any subject or discipline that has existed for a while.
Yeah.
But the way music has changed throughout history is incredible.
It has.
It is so rooted in not only the technology but also general cultural landscape of society.
That is true.
You know, wherever you look in history, and
Yeah.
you will see music somehow being related to or commenting on whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
time period is.
Hendrix did say if there's one thing that can change the world, it's music.
Yeah.
And I don't totally disagree with that. Like music, it just has this like rarely will you find a person who does not like music. Like there's always some genre for some person. Like I mean, I have met a few people who are like, oh, I don't listen to music. And I'm like, why? But yeah, I mean, not like judging people who don't listen to music, but there is always like, if anyone doesn't listen to music, I'm very curious as to like why, because there is always a genre. Like there is no way out of the like billions and trillions of songs that exist, not even one there's not even one that you like. Like there has to be some music that caters to you. Right?
Yeah, I bet there would be something, but yeah, I don't think I've met anyone who doesn't really listen to music.
No, I have met I haven't like I would say I was one of them who didn't listen to music, but that's because I guess I was more like I used to play this game called Geometry Dash.
Oh, yes, I still play
I
Geometry
used to play
Dash.
it. Oh, nice. So I used to listen to like a lot of like techno EDM music. That like and like when I'm listening to, it, I'm just imagining like how would I create a level for this music?
Yeah.
So
I
that was what I used to do. So
Yeah.
it was not really like music with lyrics. It was just like EDM type.
Yeah, I've discovered I think I have a bit of a passive interest in techno music kind of because of listening to the Geometry Dash songs.
Yeah.
I'd recommend Water Flame. A lot of his stuff is good.
Yeah.
He
Plus
wrote-
the
he
Fat
wrote-
Rat is
Yes,
the
and
Fat Rat.
as well as the
Yeah.
Fat Rat. Yeah.
And then there's this one song called Time Leap, but it's in that Crazy Man 5011. It's called like, I think it's called Time Leap. It's pretty good.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, no, but like I was like proper into that game. You know, like, I think I had a few demons under my belt and stuff. So I was like
Yeah.
very proud of it.
Yeah, I've only beaten one demon, and it's
Clubstep?
no. I'm close to beating Clubstep though. The one demon I beat is actually really is kind of holds an interesting place in the
Yeah.
Geometry Dash community. It's called the Nightmare.
Ah,
Yes.
that was the
When-
first one I beat.
Yes. The Geometry Dash community has an interesting history of difficulty and conceptions of what makes a level
Yeah,
good.
with each update, like it keeps.
Yeah.
Like I think the Nightmare was at one point the hardest level.
Yeah.
So.
Early in the game's development, the idea of what a really hard level was not understood.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the hardest level now, like Slaughterhouse, like that's not a human. Like you can't do that.
The level of skill that is needed to beat current hard levels.
Like at some point, like I don't even think it's skill. It's just like you need to be a robot. Like you need to be precise.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if like I think the hardest demon I have beaten is probably Deadlocked. And Jawbreaker, not Jawbreaker. It's one of the I think Fractured Circuits.
Something.
I almost beat it, but yeah, like beyond that, I was just like, no, I can't.
Yeah. The conception of difficulty is something I find really interesting as a concept.
I mean, this it ties back to music too, because like as time progresses, what is considered difficult or complicated goes like it skyrockets. Like,
Yeah.
Because like the more time you give to someone to do something, the better they're gonna get at it, right? So like right now, if you look at bands like Polyphia, like like people say that they are the best guitarists. But they're the best guitarists right now.
Yeah.
Because like back then, doing this was not even like fathomable. Like back then, you like bent the string and it was like, whoa, like that's cool. Now they're like going all over the neck, mixing these complicated techniques, and it's like it's like that like it is cool. Like, I can't do that. I'm trying, but like it is insane. Like the amount of talent and the amount like of talent you need to keep up with what's currently going on in something, which is it's like it makes you think like you need to get like the like the bare minimum skill you need. It keeps getting the ceiling keeps increasing higher and higher and higher as time progresses. Yeah. And that's true for it's true for Geometry Dash. It's true for everything. Music,
Yeah.
movies.
Anything that really requires a kind of skill has seen a progression of, I guess, higher and higher proficiency as time goes on. And that doesn't mean that something that is old is necessarily bad. There's a lot of old stuff, old music, old.
Yeah, when you look at Elvis, like his music, I would say is fairly timeless.
Yeah.
Like a lot of his songs, like
There's a lot of really good Elvis music.
yeah, like Jailhouse Rock, like never gets old. Like for me, like I can listen to it any day, anytime.
Yeah.
Can't help falling in love. Those kind of songs, like they're timeless. Like even Michael Jackson, like maybe like at the time I'm sure it was groundbreaking. There's a reason he's the king of pop, and like it's still like you're listening to it and it's like yeah, that's music. Like that's the thing. And like I will be honest, I'm not a fan of a lot of modern music. Like I don't like it's not that I don't like rap. I just never got into it. There are like I do like Eminem. I do like some of Logic. Kanye West, I think, is a very, very good musician, despite his personal issues.
Yeah.
I really think he's a musical genius. Like the innovation on each of his songs, the like way he uses like with electronic music, like you like he really like pushed that like the beats and the like with songs like Stronger and stuff. He uses the talk box. It's so like innovative. It's like wow, you know. So like I think like yeah, like there are a few rappers that I do enjoy listening to, but like the hard rap, like you know, Lil Pump, Lil Wayne, and even Lil, and then you know like no good.
Yeah, rap and I guess the related stuff wasn't really my thing as much. I mean, I get why people are interested in that stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
but it's just rock has been my like most listened to genre for my whole life.
Probably the same. Like you listen to Van Halen.
Yeah, some of their stuff.
Yeah, so like yeah, that is probably I think like one of the greatest guitarists. Like I would say like there are like 5 great ones. Obviously you have Jimi Hendrix, literally like
Yeah.
who like invented chords. Then you have Eddie Van Halen. Like it's personal because like I like the whole reason I went from acoustic to electric was I saw this one show. It's called Live Without a Net. This live show done by Van Halen, and then Eddie Van Halen, he was going on and on for like 10 minutes just soloing. I was like, I want to do that. So then I got an electric for the first time. I was like, and then like I would keep trying to play it. Obviously, I'm like horrible at it, but now I can do it decently. It's Eruption, and he was playing Eruption live. Then 3 is Stevie Ray Vaughan is exceptionally musical. And yeah, I have a friend like who really likes blues music, so he was showing me a lot of the Stevie Ray Vaughan songs. Fun fact, there's a cover he did of Mary Had a Little Lamb, and it is amazing. Like it is so like we were playing it, and then there's like damn, and someone's like, "What's this song? It's really good." We're like, "Mary Had a Little Lamb," and he's like, "Huh?
Wow.
Like, can you say that again?" Yeah, and then fourth one is John Mayer. John Mayer is, you can hear his like blues influence.
Yeah.
He is just a master of rhythm. Like he will get your like moving. He will get you grooving. Like he's good. Obviously, he's a good lead guitarist. Like I should explain lead and rhythm first. Like lead guitar is like when you're playing melodies or like lines, like you know soloing.
Yeah.
And rhythm is like the groove, like behind it, like chords, stuff like that. It's obviously, I'm generalizing it a bit, but yeah. John Mayer, and then 5th is the guitar. Have you heard of Polyphia?
I'm not.
Okay, so it's this band. It's this instrumental band, and every like, I think the best way to describe this band is if you took a master of guitar, a master of bass, and a master of drums, 2 masters of guitar who have perfected understanding of their instrument, master of bass who's perfected understanding of his instrument, master of drums who's perfected understanding of the instrument, and put them in a band, you would get Polyphia's music. Because that is like every single line is intricately planned, why they're doing what they're doing. So I think Tim Henson and the other dude, I think his name, but I think he is underrated as demonstrated by me forgetting his name. But yeah, Scott something. But yeah, they are like I think they basically created this whole new genre of this whole new modern guitarists where they're like going all over the neck doing these weird things.
Yeah.
And yeah, like they basically I don't know if they started that like the same way like I don't know if Eddie and Van Halen started like invented tapping, but he was the first one to do it the way he did it, like that way. Like it's the same way like these guys are the first ones to do it the way they're doing it right now. So like yeah, like if you're going to like technically who invented, like Jimi Hendrix obviously didn't invent chords, but he's the first one to do it in that context, right? So yeah, that's why I wouldn't like, obviously like it's a person who you think is the best guitarist, who is it, but like these 5 are probably my biggest inspirations when it comes to guitar and music, because like again like you very rarely get these sort of guitarists who like come and then they just read, like there's good guitarists and then there's ones who redefine the instrument, and I think like the first 2, Jimmy and Hendrix, Van Halen and Tim Henson, these 3 guys have done that.
Yeah, I think that's what really defines the greats in really any art.
Yeah.
It's like you said, who did the thing that they did their way.
Yeah.
You know, and there's just like there's so many examples and they're in trouble thinking.
Yeah, and it's like sad to see because some people are like, they look at some of these guitarists who aren't the most technically proficient, they're like, I can do that better. It's like, yeah, but like, they're like, I can be in Metallica, I could be Metallica's lead guitarist. So I'm like, yeah, but like, you're forgetting, like, they don't want you.
Oh my god.
they would not take you.
Yeah.
Like first of all, if Metallica had lead guitar auditions, that would be the most sought out job in the entire like. I think it would be insane the number of people who like I probably would do, but it's like imagine like I remember Metallica they were looking for a bassist, like they've gone through a few bassists, obviously like starting with Cliff Burton, he rest in peace, he was also like he was like the Jimi Hendrix of bass probably, where he just not more like Van Halen of bass probably, where he like started like bass soloing and stuff which was never heard of before, so like he kind of just redefined that instrument. But then he like passed in an accident. It's very sad. Then they went through a few bases, and then now I think they finally fixed one. But yeah, like if there was an opening in a popular, like it's again like back to what I was saying. Like people who are saying like I can play what he played, I can play it better. I should be in the band, not him. Like the one key component of forgetting is that they don't want you in the band. Yeah. So yeah, it's a lot of it's a criticism filled world of music, as any medium really. But
Yeah. I think that's what makes it interesting. I think the fact that there's such a variety of preferences.
Yeah, it's like even I used to be one of those people who shits on rap a lot because like I used to think like oh this requires no talent. Then I'm like no, it's like I used to think then I realized I used to think the same thing about rock music.
It's just a different kind of talent.
Yeah.
You know, it may whatever you may not prefer. You know, at least there are some people out there who prefer that thing.
Yeah.
And there's people out there who do not enjoy the thing that you enjoy the most.
Yeah.
You know, that is one of I think the best things about music.
Mm-hmm. There's something for everyone.
Yeah, there's something for everybody out there.
Which is why, like, again, when someone says I don't like music, I'm like, no, you have not listened to the right music.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose it comes down to a matter of what kind of entertainment experience you're looking for.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So.
And also, I'm just curious, when you first heard a rock song, did you like it? Like, how did you first get into it? Like, do you remember?
I don't know. I think it was. I think I was really just used to it when I was growing up, because it was the stuff my parents listened to. You know, we have a lot of CDs and listen to the radio and such. But when I was younger, that was just the thing that was always there. You know,
Interesting. Because like as someone who was big into EDM and pop and had never heard a rock song in his life, the first time I heard Thunderstruck by AC/DC, I was like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
This is horrible. Why is he singing like that? Then I was like people like this. I was not able to like understand how people like this. So I just kept going back to it again and again and again, and then went from I don't like this to I like the guitar in it to oh this is an amazing song. And then I just went down that whole rabbit hole of 80s rock and metal, and now here I am with Metallica shows.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to think about. Like whenever like people are surprised because normally like whenever I see people reacting to rock and they love it immediately, I'm like no, that wasn't me. I would not have liked rock when I hated rock when I first heard it. Even like the first Metallica song I heard, Master of Puppets, which is like the most popular Metallica song, I despised it. I was like, this is so disgusting, what are you playing? But then again, like I was curious, like why do people like it? So I kept going back to it. And then eventually I started liking it. So like I guess that's the definition of acquired taste.
Yeah. I know there's definitely been some stuff like that for me. I couldn't recall quite why. But I think mostly techno. I think techno, like a lot of electronic music, is like that for me. It was an acquired thing that I heard it and I'm like, this is all just digital. Why is this interesting? But then I played a couple of video games that had some really good electronic music, and I just went looking for it on the internet, and I'm like, wow, I really like this.
Yeah, that's one thing I find very interesting about my origins in rock. Like it's just fun to think about, like I hated it and now I love it.
Yeah, I suppose we all have our stuff that we've learned to enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, is there anything you want to comment on?
I think we covered a lot of good, interesting stuff here. I quite enjoyed it.
Yeah?
It's an
All right.
interesting conversation.
Cool. So I think that's going to wrap it up for this episode. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope.
Subscribe.
Yeah.
Like. What
Please,
else is there any news right going on?
I don't know. Please do those things. There will be more episodes of this show coming up, along with some original content is going to come soon. So be on the lookout for that. Thanks for doing this.
Thanks for having me.
It's been pretty good. So that's really everything I wanted to get through. So yeah, this has been Tom from the Orange Jungle Tree Sheep, and my friend.
Okay.
And I will see all of you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.